Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Media Cocktail Podcast, Episode 7. I'm your host, Brendan, I guess. I don't know if I'm here or not. I'm joined by my friends who make stuff, might not make stuff. I don't know. We're just a bunch of people that do podcasts, I guess. Anyway, we're here, and we're alive. We're doing a bunch of stuff, and we're talking about it. Or we've done a bunch of stuff, because it was in the past, I guess. Anyway. Or the Media Cocktail Podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about games and whatever. I don't know. It's episode 7. You figure it out. Joined by my friend Michael.
We're not your father.
Excuse me, what was that?
Oh, I was telling the audience that we're not their fathers. They can figure out this shit for themselves.
But what if they don't have a dad, Will? What do you get a dad shame?
Then get your mothers. I don't know.
Well, there are literally orphans in this audience. What are you going to say to them?
They get you your timeshare home in Florida and walk it off.
Get to your timeshare home? What do you think being an orphan is?
I guess, like, to him, it's just like Annie. You just, like, become an orphan and suddenly you're, like, a millionaire.
Isn't that now how it works?
Little orphan. Just rolling in your millions.
Oh, you don't have money? Here's $10,000. Go invest in Bitcoin.
Hey, look, kid. Sucks to lose out on both your parents, but guess what? You're a millionaire. Hey.
As long as I'm doing fine, Brendan.
I think he was talking about me.
I thought
I said Michael first. And thought.
How you doing, Michael?
Well, I don't think I want to say now, Mr. Michael.
It's pronounced Michelle.
It's pronounced... No, I don't want to dox myself.
Michaela.
I don't think I want to dox myself. I was actually about to give, like, my actual middle name. I don't want to do that.
Michaela. Anyway.
But yeah, I guess I'm doing fine. I'm mad at Will. So how are you doing, Brendan?
I'm fine. I got my second dose of vaccine, which kicked my ass, but I am now superpowered, and I can defeat COVID single-handedly, assuming there's no variation or whatever.
But could you be a soccer mom who literally knows like all the facts on anti-vaxxing?
I don't know. I mean, obviously the anti-vax stuff is stupid, but anyway, I wanted to buy it at an Xbox just randomly out of the blue in the last 24 hours. It's weird. Anyway, Will, how's it going?
It's going all right. I don't need the vaccine. I can just kill all of COVID with just a butter knife. So, but I still had to get the first vaccine anyways.
Yeah.
I could beat it up. No, not really.
I guess.
So I'm gonna get my second shot next week and gonna get my ass kicked then. So that's gonna be fun.
I'm so sensitive now to anti-vax jokes. Like, obviously you should get vaccinated. Holy shit! If you're listening to this podcast, get vaccinated. Just do it. Okay, wear your mask. Be safe. Okay, don't be an idiot. Anyway.
Stay woke.
I'm like so sensitive to those jokes now because I'm like, I don't even want to give the hint of the wrong idea.
It's like a fully functioning like human like says, and here's like us make an anti-vax joke. They're like, you know what? They're right. Fuck vaccines, bro. Fuck them.
Yeah, I know. Man, remember when everybody was just excited to get the polio vaccine? I mean, we weren't alive for it, but like people were excited to get the vaccine for it, and they lined up in like rows to get it, and it was like free for the public. And they were like, "Hey, are you gonna like I don't know, try to trademark your vaccine so you can sell it to people?" And he was like, "No, you stupid. Why would I try to sell something that humans need to live? That sounds ridiculous."
Yes, well,
anyway.
I want to say thank you, Brendan, for making me realize that I was not born in 1890 and wasn't alive to see the polio vaccine just invented.
Okay. I don't know where you want me to go from there. Anyway, on the Media Cocktail Podcast, each week we have a specialty drink that none of us drink in unison on,
hey, I have
on
it
a
right
podcast.
here.
I will say that on an unrecorded episode of the podcast, we did all have it, but somebody decided not to show up. Anyway, Michael, what is the drink for this week?
What's up? Yeah, it is a spiked sweet. It is a spiked Southern tea, which is 2 ounces of bourbon, 1 tablespoon of real maple syrup. The only thing that I will admittedly say I did not do. I got some like Mrs. Buttersworth. And
sorry, I'm laughing at the rich orphan thing again.
And yeah, every kid's just Batman. Every orphan is Batman.
They're just Batman. That's orphans, right? They're just Batman.
Well, if that's the case, they're doing a lousy job. Crime is still going through the roof.
Every female orphan is Annie, and every male orphan is Batman. And if you're non-binary, I don't know.
You're Robin. Anyway.
You're Robin?
You're Robin.
I think he's just a leech on Batman.
Fuck Batman.
Bruce, my tummy hurts. Don't call me Bruce.
Bruce. Oh my God, Bruce, are you crying? No, it's just the rain.
It's just the what?
Just the rain.
Oh, I thought you said something else. I was like, oh my God.
And to finish off this spiked Southern tea,
just gotta get through this drink.
Is some tea. I am using black tea, but
There you go.
I think it's just for this type of tea, just don't do like green tea. And you'll
Tea
be
is
good.
disgusting. Don't at me.
Anyway, that is our cocktail of the week. It is the, what is it called again? Just sweetened or spiked tea?
Southern spiked tea.
I don't know. Cool. It's just, you were like, it's Southern spiked tea. Bleh.
I mean, I makes me wonder what the actual drinks mixed it with. And
I don't know.
hard to say.
Anyway, I got a new segment on the Media Cocktail Podcast. You know, it's interesting. I just did that sound effect for the. They didn't hear it, but I just did the news segment in like an echoey kind of voice thing. It's kind of cool. Anyway, this new segment is. I want to introduce you guys to the three of us. Obviously, we're kind of a new podcast, and none of us are like very familiar faces on the internet.
We're talking
for
about
obvious
Everybody
reasons.
Loves Me.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Anyway,
Nobody cares, Mike.
nobody knows who we are all that well, so I was like, why don't I ask the guys, and I'll even include myself. What is our favorite thing about whatever? Just so you get to know us a little bit more, you know. I'm considerate of the audience. I listen to a lot of podcasts myself, so you know, you like to get to know your hosts here. So this week, I'm gonna ask you guys, what is your favorite food that is absolutely terrible for you? Michael, you go first.
Can I list all?
Go ahead.
Because no, what I mean is like this is a very much a multi-part thing. Because there is so many things I fucking love that are just.
I would say limit it to
awful.
5.
5 only? Wow, coward. I'm just kidding. Don't hate me. I am really well. First of all, I'm a big fan of just beer. Beer's actually worse for you than you think. It's so filled with like calories.
Yeah.
That is like unbelievable. There's a reason why it's called a beer gut to be why it's even called like a beer gut, because it's very much a leading cause for like obesity.
I like that you like almost laughed there. You're like, obesity. No, it was pretty good. Anyway, beer.
So, beer, I love Kit Kats. Kit Kats are absolutely the best candy out there, in my opinion.
I would agree. Kit Kats are probably my favorite candy. Well, they're like tied for first, but I'll get to my stuff in a second.
Oreo.
Oh, is there any type of beer that's like particularly like, oh, I gotta have that one, or is it just beer in general?
All right, I'm gonna kind of go back, but it's like what I usually think is like my favorite, but it's also like that's like my favorite is like Angry Orchard. And yes,
Really?
I love it because it's what I want if I don't want something like super god awful strong. It's like, okay, I could have like some apple juice, but it's still. And for all those people who are saying, "Oh, you're drinking apple juice. Why don't you have just a beer?" It's just as a, just a piece of information. Angry Orchard is actually stronger than like a lot of beers, like a good amount of beers, at least in terms of alcohol per volume.
Alcohol is still alcohol.
So before you say anything, just because I am getting drunker on something that tastes a lot of times better.
Oh yeah, no, I do enjoy a good cider myself.
Yeah, I've always been fine with like Angry Orchard or like spiced or alcoholic ciders, stuff like that. Although like now I've been more thinking about like, okay, I'm only going to have a certain amount of beer in my life. I probably don't want to spend that on Miller Lite or like or like, oh, I'm just gonna have a Bud. Like no. If you're gonna spend the beer tokens you get, I don't know how many you get. You get a lot, but like.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be careful. You should
all
probably
the
spend
good
it on more frequently than not. Spend it on something that's like gonna taste really, really good, or like be like really, really fancy, or something like that.
Or try something new.
Or try something new. Yeah.
I'm starting to try like more unique stuff. Will and I, when he was over last, we had this thing called Jack and Daniel's. What was it? Black cherry soda.
Wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't all that great in my opinion, but it was still nice to try something different.
Mm.
And I'm gonna say like the last thing that's like absolutely awful for me that I love is Cold Stone. Because you could get all like you could get all the toppings, and I will go absolutely ham with like making a chocolate and marshmallow disaster. For those who are curious about what I get, I always get gotta have its size chocolate with chocolate chips, M&Ms, Kit Kat, and marshmallows. That for me is the cream of the crop. So those are my like the main three that I can really think of. How about you, Will?
Death by chocolate.
What's Death by chocolate?
You don't know Death by chocolate?
Nope.
Dude. It's basically brownie mixed with chocolate pudding, mixed with whipped cream, mixed with I think some actually use toffee candy bars, but you can just generally use any chocolate in there. It's basically like a chocolate.
Sounding very American.
It's it's pretty much a chocolate pudding. But like
I've never heard of Death by Chocolate.
Wow, I'm really surprised. I think
one.
you would like it. Yeah, but I mean, like it's. I don't know. Just I like the chocolate pudding, and I don't remember. You really should give it a shot, though, Mike. Like, actually, it's interesting. I think since like I call it a chocolate pudding, but it's kind of layered like a cake. Like you have the brownie, and then sometimes you have the whipped cream on top of that. Then you would have the pudding or something on top, and then whatever. So.
Okay. Anything else, or is it just that? That is the king.
That is the king.
Okay. All right.
What about you, Brendan?
No.
Obviously, I'm going to say various forms of alcohol. I'm a big fan of wine. I like mixed drinks. I like beer. So trying to do all that in a way that doesn't like get your liver removed or doing that in a healthy way it was a challenge for me in college. But outside of college, I've been much better about handling myself. I think the number one thing, it's probably two things actually, that are like, this will absolutely kill me, probably, but like I enjoy them, or shorten my life, but I enjoy them, so I'm going to continue to consume them, are Oreos, double stuffed specifically, and pizza probably. I always eat like super like I grew up over the summers being able to eat like New York style pizza. Always like I was, I don't know, like 25 minutes outside of New York, so I got to eat like really, really good pizza, and it's always like super greasy. And I ever since like I turned like 15, 16, I was like, oh yeah, this is probably like totally terrible for you. But it's really, really good. And then just Oreos are just like, they don't even spell cream right. Like it's totally like a fake cookie that they make out of like random ass chemicals. But I really like them. You know, I've liked Oreos ever since I was a kid. And like I don't know, I don't. It's hard to envision life without double stuffed Oreos that you have to put in the fridge. By the way, if you eat Oreos and don't put them in the fridge, I'm sorry, you're weird. Sorry.
Just like if you don't put Thin Mints in the freezer, you're weird.
I don't know what the rules are for Thin Mints because I've never been a big fan. So I don't know. Honestly, I get it. Like thinking on it, I get it. But it's also like you've definitely got to put Kit Kats in the fridge as well.
What about quadruple stuffed Oreos?
No, that's too much. You gotta find a balance. So like the original Oreo, I'm actually not a big fan of. Like it's all right. It's okay. Like I like it. But like the double stuff is that's it right there.
I mean,
if I had to include a third one, it's definitely like chocolate cake. I cannot resist chocolate cake. Double chocolate cake, like chocolate frosting and chocolate cake with chocolate frosting in the middle. Holy crap! If that cake is in the house, I will eat like 6 or 7 pieces in an afternoon. Like,
oh, I'm just remembering. Didn't we have a tradition during New Year's to get like a chocolate cake?
We did. I mean, we didn't. We only did New Year's like 1 or 2. I think maybe we did 3 times.
That was I'm pretty sure like all throughout high school, like.
Yeah, we did New Year's. Oh yeah, so we did New Year's. Yeah, it would have been for 1 or 2 years. Because I moved in 2018. And we did it senior year. Because I remember drinking at one of them. We were all of age at that time.
Well, then we would have been at college during then.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe there was 2 in between there? I don't know. It's crazy how it, like, blurs, right?
Right. But I just remember we had that thing where it's like, to celebrate, we would just get like, I think 1 or 2 just whole pieces of cake.
Yeah, we got pizza, chocolate cake, and champagne for New Year's. I think we might have done it twice. And we would watch movies at a friend of ours on a projector, and we'd sit outside.
On VHS.
Really, really nice.
Wow.
Yeah, on VHS, of course, yeah.
I've actually never actually... I don't think I've ever actually had a champagne before.
Honestly?
Really? Yeah, I don't think I've ever, like, ordered or seen on the menu, like, champagne. At least from when I was
you have to ask, usually, I think. It's usually for, like, celebrations and stuff. I think even you have to bring your own bottle sometimes, depending on where you go. Each week on the Media Cocktail Podcast, we talk about what we've been doing over the course of the week. This particular episode, where we've got, like, 2 to 2.5 weeks to cover over, so we've all done a lot in that time. Michael, why don't you go first?
I've been stuck. Like, I'm in college currently, and I had a spring break just like last week.
Yeah.
But my dad has moved to Arkansas, so I was up there with him doing a lot of nothing, honestly, other than like reading my book, which in books I have finished Dune. I don't want to talk all about it, especially since we have Will here, who is also reading Dune currently. He is at book 2, which is kind of like, think of book 2 as like, or finished book 2, which you could kind of think of as like act 2 of 3.
Or I guess a 4, because there's 4 books in there, I think.
No.
Oh.
Unless there is a secret.
Long, isn't it? Like, it's like a huge thing.
It's not as big as I was honestly expecting it. We have a book for our book club that's like, it might be double all the other books that we've read so far, and that is Stone of Tears, the second part of the, what is it, the Truth series?
Oh, Sword of Truth series?
Sword of Truth series, yeah.
Wait, how long is that book?
Hold on, let me get my Kindle real quick because I have it here.
Oh, I have it on my Kindle too. Huh? I never noticed just how long it is.
Cause
Oh, you guys have a Kindle and you don't read the physical books? I always go for the physical books.
No. I
don't know why.
I try to go for physical books as well. Actually, physical.
Yeah.
I have a physical of Dune. With Stone of Tears, I was originally going to be reading this book on my own until one of our friends recommended it for our book club.
Oh, okay. Oh, what? I'm curious. What is how big is your book collection? Well, what are your favorites out of there?
Well, let's see. I've only read Dune, Stranger. I've read I Am Legend, which I actually really liked.
I Am Legend was a very good book. A lot of the books that he's read, that I've also read. Not all of them. I haven't read the Harry Potter books, but I've read. Okay. We're in the same book club, just for context.
Yeah.
But it's obviously got to be Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man.
That one was funny. That one was really funny for me.
Okay.
No. Go on.
Because
have you guys done Lord of the Rings yet?
Lord of the Rings, I have it on my Kindle. And the thing about what you were saying was, I actually used to be the same way until 2 months ago. And now I actually really like reading on the Kindle.
Yeah.
I think the main thing was I whenever I read now, I'm mainly looking at page number instead of just okay, I'm just gonna sit down and enjoy myself. And having the Kindle, where I can just have the page number go away, has been a lot more comforting instead of me being what page am I on? 260?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop at 270.
Is it 270 now?
Are we there yet?
Honestly, I just should be reading more. I don't really need to worry about what form.
Well, but it's funny though because I do want to read through Lord of the Rings really badly.
Oh yeah. Now we're bouncing all over the place. Oh goodness.
Yeah, I still have the rest of my week to go.
Yeah, I know. All right, okay. All right, how was the rest of your week, Michael?
But yeah, wanting to talk about it, but I guess I'll talk about it once Will finishes Dune, so I can go into a more comprehensive review. But In an Instant, oh my god, In an Instant by Suzanne Redfern. I'm saying the author of In an Instant because it's kind of hard. It was released last year in March, just before the pandemic hit, and oh my god, is it a good book. I actually really enjoyed that book. It gets a solid 10 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
Because it has one of the most interesting point of view things that I have seen in a book for a while. But all my avid readers, give me a little, just as a point of reference, I am actually pretty new to reading compared to Will and a bunch of my other friends. I've only started really reading for about a year, so it might have been done beforehand, but this is my first time seeing it, so I really like it. It's basically, so the main character is just straight up dead.
Way to ruin the ending, dude.
No, it's the beginning.
Way to ruin the beginning, dude.
There's actually a movie that we might talk about at some point that does something similar, but we'll get there.
But the thing is, it basically, this character dies, in, the third or fourth chapter, somewhere very early on in the book, and in, a horrific accident, so much so, it was said, the family members that saw her body, nearly puked just from seeing it. It doesn't go into details, but it's, pretty awful. But the character still stays around as a ghost. And I like that thing of having the thing that's really good about third person point of view in a book, which is you kind of see what everyone else is doing. Because as a ghost, she could just teleport to whatever family member she wants to and get their point of view. Because the entire thing is it's an accident happens, and it's basically all of the characters basically trying to survive or trying to get through this awful accident that leaves them stranded in the woods, and the trauma that is afterwards.
Okay.
So it's like goes into like all the other like family members, but we also can see like a lot of like the main character's like personality and get their thoughts and feelings of the entire situation as well. And I really thought that was like a very clever way of having like, and also the main character also has a little bit of like agency where she can talk to her family members when they're asleep, and it's to them it kind of sounds like, you know, a voice from beyond. I think it just has like the things of like a first person point of view and a third person point of view into a very effective and very to where it's like you get all the benefits of both, and I really enjoyed it.
What book is this?
In an Instant by Suzanne Redfern. Redfern spelled as an Redfearn.
Okay. Yeah, I just pulled it up on Amazon. All right. If I can... Oh, actually. Looking at this... there's a book that... Like, I think that, like, is a good jumping point from this, but I haven't read either book. I've only seen the movie of this book I'm going to recommend. It's a book called... I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's apparently a really, really good book, and the movie was made by one of my favorite filmmakers for Netflix, and that's another really, really good... That's a really, really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend that to check that out at some point.
But I don't want to say anything else about In an Instant. I'll check out this. It's called I'm Thinking About Ending Things, right, Brendan?
Yeah, that's the book, and then there's a Netflix movie, which I think just read the book first and then check out the adaptation.
Okay, but I don't want to. I just would recommend if you have like $10 that you don't know what to do with, go get that book. I absolutely love the book. And it's a little bit depressing, but it's not like a absolute tearjerker where everything is just awful. There's some good, there's some bad, and I think that's a really good, important thing for tragedies, is having like a good balance of like there's like some good, but there's also like some bad. There's like enough hope for things to at least look good. But
okay. Well, I'll check it out. I put it on my wish list actually of books.
But other than that, been playing Fallout 4 recently. It's not a great game for all those people who are interested in how I feel about it. I am a big fan of the Fallout series. Fallout 4 has the best combat, and that's what I mainly go back to, because when it comes to certain games, I like making builds and checking out builds. Like being like, okay, I want to do like a sniper build. Okay, what perks do I need? How do I go effectively like making this build?
Yeah. The thing with Fallout 4 for me is like, I really like the mechanics of Fallout 4. Like I like the shooting. I think the shooting's alright. I think the loot grab mechanic. I like everything in the world is valuable to a degree. So you've got to collect as much stuff as you can to upgrade your weapons and build bases and whatever.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool. But like, the story is so bad. And
it's awful.
They force you down like a certain path, and like half the quests are not all that great. And it just makes it really, really hard to want to replay it without like just downloading a bunch of mods to get rid of it.
I absolutely understand what you mean,
fun.
Brendan. I know exactly what you mean, Brendan. The story is not great. It really forces you into like, okay, you're going to be a good guy, because it only lets you pick like the good factions, with I guess the exception being the Institution. But
well, I mean, the game tries to make everything justifiable, you know, in a way that's like, so like, it sucks because I mean, I'm talking about this from memory, but like, I remember the main conflict of the game could have been figured out with just a conversation between two sides. And also, I say this every time, it's a meme. Will, what's the meme?
Oh, that it's basically Fallout 3 story, but in reverse.
Yeah.
It is. Instead of finding your dad, you're finding your son.
Yeah.
And guess what? You have to kill them in both games too. So,
man,
have fun, guys.
I don't know. I cannot believe how much Bethesda got away with basically just remaking Fallout 3,
Mm-hmm.
but like, in a new location with like
kind of making it
I'm surprised
nice.
nobody like.
And I just did like the Nuka Worlds stuff, and it basically was like, instead of like forcing you to be like a good guy, it kind of forces you to be a bad guy, which feels like such like a tonal shift of like the character, which makes which makes the game feel even worse.
Yeah, it doesn't even flesh well with the world. Like, you can literally do a raider mission and then go to the Minutemen, and then you're like, okay, I'll do a Minutemen mission, and they're like, oh, well, we don't like that you did that, but here's your mission anyway.
Yeah.
And this is coming purely off of memory, and this is probably just be a me thing, but I think the game looks a little too nice. Like, for a post-apocalyptic shithole, it's a pretty good looking day.
Well, I think it's long enough after, and there's different zones that like have different tones to them that I think there's enough variation there. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, because like I mean, most of the Commonwealth is, fine, but kind of like bad, but livable. If you go to like the very bottom left, where like all the radiation is, that is probably what like where the actual bomb dropped.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That is probably what you're more looking for. So I honestly don't really have that much of a problem, especially like every like few days you get like a nuclear storm that makes it feel like, oh yeah, we're still like, they're still fucking like dealing with it. I think it's just fine.
Like I say, it was purely just going off of memory, so it's
Fallout 4 is such a mixed bag. Like, it's probably one of the best worlds they've made. Like, I don't know. I think this holds true for like both of their like really popular games. Like, I think Fallout 4's world is really, really good and really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like the story is awful, and it makes it like almost impenetrable to want to replay. Like I said before, and the same thing with Skyrim, where it's like the world is really, really cool. I like the setting of Skyrim, but like again, it's just like I don't want to ride the cart. I don't want to do all this stuff. I don't want to pick between like two cookie cutter sides. Like I really honestly feel like they should just rehire or rework their writing team, and like that would make the game significantly better.
I like to see them I like to see them try an Elder Scrolls without having a main quest line. Just plop you in. Yeah. Just have you plop into the world and be like, okay, have fun, guys.
Here's the thing. I would not like that. Well, first of all, I haven't really like played any Elder Scrolls game beyond like 10 hours. The furthest was Oblivion, actually. I tried Skyrim, just couldn't get into it. But
yeah,
in terms of like video games in general, it doesn't necessarily need to be like the main story, but I need a direction to go. I don't do well with like, hey, you're like GTA. In like GTA, it's like I'm not going to be the type of person that like just goes around shooting at the cops, because I kind of get bored easily. It's like, okay, I'm not really doing anything. I'm not really.
I don't think Will's saying like be directionless. I think like just have an open set of options.
Like you have like, quest lines, but like
you're like something that did this kind of like similar to the way that Will's talking about is Divinity 2, where you start off in the same like realm, like in the same like level, but you can go in various different directions, and a bunch of different things happen based on your decisions that you made in the first level of the game. So I think you can definitely be way more open, but also give players a direction to go in. So you can be like, okay, yeah, so you can do this, this, and this, and this on this first one, and it's up to you to make the decisions on where you want to go. Because as a role-playing game, it should be more about fulfilling the role of your character than being like, okay, this is the story, we're gonna force it down.
Well, and it's kind of funny though, because especially in Elder Scrolls, like the whole point of the game is to live another life, as like, in this fantasy realm, however you want to. Having a main storyline where you're basically the chosen one to save the world is kind of counterproductive if you were to play an evil character.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Kind of like make it like, I think like the best way I can think of is like make it more Fallout New Vegas than like Fallout 3 or 4.
Right, and Fallout New Vegas, like, I mean it's a little hard, but you can straight up be like, I don't care who shot me.
Benny will, like, you can just, like, completely, like, leave Benny, and you will still get the platinum chip eventually, whether you have to go to Kaisar or
be very careful here. I haven't finished New Vegas.
Then play it. It's like spoilers for a 15-year-old game.
I'm playing it right now, so let's see what you might say anything.
I'm looking forward to...
Anyway, we'll get to it.
I'm looking forward to talking to you about that then. I actually have a lot to say about New Vegas. But
okay.
I will end my time there. We still have more podcasts to do. Will, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Been all right. Was watching some movies today. Actually, was rewatching some of DreamWorks films like Shrek and all that. Actually, I got to see that movie Spirit for the first time. It's that one with the horse.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I actually had that. It's funny. I remember having that movie, like in my, like as a DVD, ever since I was a young bab. But But if you were to like hold a gun up to me and say, "Tell me a single line or a single story beat of the game," I'd say, "Then fucking shoot me now, kill me." I don't remember a single thing.
To be fair,
yeah, of course, because it's not a game; it's a movie.
Well, you know what I mean.
To be fair, like dialogue is fairly minimal, so that's the thing though. Like, I love the premise of it, where the main character is a horse, and he actually doesn't talk. Like all you see, you understand his character just purely based off of his expressions and like his actions and all that, and I really like that. Especially given that it's a kids movie, an animated kids movie, so it would have been very easy to just give the horse a voice and be done with it.
Apparently, that movie is popular in furry communities, and I don't know why. I know. Don't like it or they like it.
I think I know exactly why.
Anyway, I think it was a beautifully animated movie. Granted, there was a lot of just montages of or not a lot, but there's a few montages of horses running around galloping. Almost dropped my beer again. Spilled with the beer again. There are a lot of nature shots being like, "Oh yeah, I'm free, I'm glorious, nature, all that."
All that lame shit. Where's the explosions?
All the tree hugging hippies.
Where's my Shrek?
Where's Donkey?
They spent money on this instead of Shrek 5.
All in all, I enjoy the movie since I think it does the visual medium really well. You know, like or you can understand the horse just by watching it, right? Except that they still felt the need to have a goddamn narrator to tell you how the horse is feeling.
Ugh, yeah, that always kills it.
I think
and you know why that happens so many times? I'm sorry to like interject, but like I just know this from like what I've learned about studios.
They think that silence is stupid.
They think that silence is stupid. Yeah, they're like, what's happening? How's the audience gonna understand what's happening? And like, I'll give them this. Every like 15% of the time, they're actually right. But like usually they're just totally off the mark. Like in Blade Runner, it was supposed to be like him trying to do detective work, but the studio was like, I don't understand. What is he doing? Why is he looking at that? What? Why is he talking about it? And they're like, he's doing detective work. You don't narrate yourself through detective work. And they're like, damn right he does.
Although I think with this one, Katzenberg always wanted a narrator in there, so like he himself probably, I don't know, maybe he himself just didn't have much faith in the audience. Yeah. But like the thing is, and that's why it's baffling to me, because it looks like the animators did a lot of work to like show all the emotions of the horse and like make sure that you can look at him and understand him, since he doesn't have dialogue.
Yeah.
And they had the narrator that's just being like, so I feel torn about the situation right now. And I'm like, no shit.
Okay. Hold on, there's actually something really funny about the narration for Blade Runner. In Blade Runner, Harrison Ford, who plays the lead character, was so mad that they were going to do a narration that he deliberately did a bad job recording narration for the film, and they left it in anyway.
I've heard that he had, I guess, a very stilted performance. I understand?
Yeah, like he just literally did not. He was like, they're never gonna put this in. If I suck, then I'll just suck at it. And they did it anyway. They put it in anyway.
Here's the thing, though. Let me just be real. When has Harrison Ford ever liked a role he's been in?
I know, right?
he every single role he goes is like, I fucking hate Han Solo. I don't want to play this character again. Kill me off. I don't want to play Indiana Jones. I don't like. it's like, is there like anything that you've done before that makes you proud?
To be fair, he does like Blade Runner. He was just mad that they were going to add the narration. And in the case of Star Wars, he had said since Empire that's something that they should have done.
Yes.
And in case of Indiana Jones, they've done 4 of them. So like, I kind of understand his position, especially as like how is he, like 80 something?
Something like that.
He's 8. I don't know how old he is. Hold on, somebody.
That's what I'm doing.
I'll look it up.
Because he's scheduled to do another Indiana Jones movie too.
78 years old.
He's 78 years old. Probably will be 80 by the time that movie comes out.
Wait, are they actually?
Are you kidding?
Doing another?
Yes, they're doing 5.
Yeah, they're doing another
bringing
one.
Spielberg back and everything. Because nothing is sacred. Nothing can be left alone. By the way, the new poster is out for the West Side Story remake. How many fucking like kids our age care at all about West Side Story?
Who to what now?
I'm sorry. Like, nobody cares about West Side Story anymore. I don't understand why that's the one. That's it. That's like being like, okay, we're gonna remake Gone with the Wind.
What is the highest grossing movie of all time? That obviously a money-making machine right there.
Well, it's so contextless. Like, they just don't understand why that thing was successful. They're just like, oh, popular IP.
That'd be, I don't know, but that'd be like
regardless of when it was popular or why, you know.
Fuck, might as well remake American Graffiti while they're at it.
Like, it's like someone remaking the Star Wars prequel trilogy right now because they didn't understand why they made money 20 years ago. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it's completely like just disconnected from reality.
I mean, for a while, it's been pretty much like the era of remakes. You know, why do something new when you could do something that has already been done and make a safer bet?
To be fair, remakes and adaptations were always popular. That's always been a thing. They've done that forever.
Hell,
some of the biggest movies of all times were adaptations or remakes of something.
Hell, Stanley
Kubrick, like, not a lot of people. Yeah, Kubrick's almost his entire repertoire is adaptations. So you can do that well. You can do a remake really, really well. But the problem is that a lot of the bigger studio movies right now, they just don't know how to find a successful movie. And a lot of it's because these guys are CEOs that don't make movies. Like, it's very rare now for someone that's worked in the movie business to make it to the role where, okay, now I'm deciding what pictures come out each year. Like, usually it's just like investors, and then it's like a stock guy that does it. Same problem in video games.
And I think, like, what doesn't help is that it seems like there's just this expectations that movies have to make like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Now it's like, oh, every movie has to make $1 billion, otherwise it's a failure. It's like, no. If you plan out how to spend your money better, like, I don't know. I don't understand how people that are supposed to know business and like get mad at people for not understanding business don't know how to do business. It's befuddling. Anyway, how was the rest of your week, Will?
Well, I tried out the Wonderful 101, which is it was a Wii U exclusive game made by Kamiya, the guy who did Bayonetta.
Wasn't also like the people who made like Beautiful Joe?
Yes.
Yes, Platinum. Well,
I think he was still.
Did Platinum make Beautiful Joe?
Kamiya did make Beautiful Joe, but I think he was still working for Capcom at the time. Although I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Although I don't know if it was Team Little Devils that made it, which is the Kamiya's team behind Don't Make Cry and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the specifics on that. I just know that Kamiya was the head of that project. Well, for all of these projects, basically.
Right.
And I think it's kind of funny because I think Wonderful 101 was very much inspired by Beautiful Joe. In fact, I actually confused the two for a while beforehand.
Well, I think they do use like some of the similar like characters or something.
I think like similar art style.
I could understand why someone get that impression, basically.
Yeah. But I actually really enjoyed like the premise of it, since the whole point is that like it's pretty much a Power Rangers sort of deal. Like you have a team of guys who identify via colors. Like you have the red leader and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And like basically you have 100 other people with you as well, and you sort of form, or I guess whoever's not the lead, or whoever is the leader, basically has everyone else form into their weapons. Like from the main leader guy, he can transform everyone into a giant fist, and for some other guy, he can have a sword out and all that. And what the gimmick is that in order to even transform or weapon switch, I guess, is that you have to draw it out with everyone. Because remember, this was on the Wii U gamepad, so there was that little bit of a gimmick of, okay, you want the sword, well, you gotta draw a straight line on the gamepad. Cool, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about, like, at least seeing the giant fist. I don't know much about the game other than that.
Yeah. Now I play using the gamepad or Xbox controller, so instead of having to draw it on a touchscreen, I had to use the right analog stick, which thankfully worked pretty well. So I was a little bit worried at first.
Okay.
Although it is a little bit annoying when you have to do some of the more complicated ones, because there's two weapons that have a very similar drawing pattern, so that can get kind of annoying. But other than that, though, I think it's a really good game, and it's a shame that it basically flew under the radar.
Oh yeah, people. I don't think that many people. I think it also didn't help that it was a Wii U exclusive.
Yeah, well, Bayonetta 2 was as well, and everyone freaking loved that.
Yeah, and also was because I think it might have been also, even though that we were just talking about it, was a new IP where Bayonetta 2 had the Bayonetta name behind it.
Although, funny enough, playing Wonderful 101 and playing Bayonetta back to back, it's kind of funny seeing some of the similarities between the two.
You have that action time or whatever it was from Beautiful Joe?
Which time?
No. It was.
Oh, you mean? Are talking about the QuickTime events?
No, from. I remember like the entire like thing was like since it was like on the movie, you could like slow thing down in Beautiful Joe, just like slowing down like a reel.
That okay? No, you can't do that in Wonderful 101. Oh god, to be honest, though, I haven't really played Beautiful Joe.
Who cares?
So I really want to though.
I'm just kidding.
What's up?
Nothing.
What's up?
Nothing. I nothing. I just said, Brennan, take this out.
But yeah, it's pretty. But yeah, Wonderful 101. It's a underrated gem, I would say.
That's good.
Granted, I don't know why I keep saying granted. Because I've been replaying Devil May Cry, played Bayonetta, Beautiful Joe, or not Beautiful Joe, Wonderful 101, all that. I started to realize how much I actually really like the hack. Okay, they are technically classified as hack and slash, but I hear people call them more stylish action or hack and slash. Since yes, the point of the game is to take down all of your enemies. The designers gives you the tools to basically just do more than the bare necessities. You know, try to like pull it off as like cool as possible, or like, you know, completely damageless and all that stuff. And I think part of the reason why I appreciate that is because it has a very low skill floor, but the skill ceiling is like immense. And like the amount of stuff that players can accomplish, I really appreciate. You know, I like being able to give them the tools and just be able to go nuts with it.
You know what else has a really high skill ceiling? Dark Souls. Apparently, Will says Dark Souls sucks. Want to expound upon that?
I just... It's better than Dark Souls 2, but I don't think it's really all that great. Like...
I think I said Dark Souls sucks, not Dark Souls 3 sucks. People just said Dark Souls sucks.
Dark Souls suck. Dark Souls suck.
I mean, that too, I guess. Demon Souls suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get that Lords of the Fallen in here. Fuck that. How about Code?
Oh my god, Lords of the Fallen is so bad. Like, for real though. Like, not even a meme.
No.
There's literally a track on the first boss fight that they took from Lord of the Rings. It's a music track.
Oh yeah. If they were shameless on ripping off Dark Souls, I guess why not go for
just take everything.
Yeah. Isn't that game getting a sequel?
It has a sequel, I thought.
Oh.
So we have a go on about Lords of the Fallen. So Lords of the Fallen is a game made by Saw Games. Saw Games has also made Sniper Ghost Warrior, Rokio, Combat Wings, a bunch of like I don't know what these even are. Like Nancy Drew games, but not called Nancy Drew. Like one is called The Art of Murder: The Secret Files, which is one of the one of the lamest names for a video game I've ever heard of. They also made a game called Alien Rage. And they also made a game called Project Freedom.
Now that's something I can fucking get behind.
It's a game that came out in 2009, but if you look at the screenshots, you would think it came out in 1999. Anyway.
So obviously they made some classics right here.
Obviously, yeah. I'm just saying Lords of the Fallen came from good crop. Good crop.
Well, yeah, it obviously looks like that might have been their magnum opus.
But not better than King Kong and Godzilla.
No.
No, that's actually like badass fun. Lords of Fallen is just frustrating.
I still haven't seen it yet. I know Will has. I mean, that's why we're talking about it. Michael, have you seen it yet?
No, I don't know. I've never been one for kaiju movies or just movies in general.
Although I remember you were talking about one thing that annoys you, Mike, in versus movie is not having a definitive winner.
Yeah, because I knew from the fucking get-go that it says King Kong versus Godzilla. It's just like fucking Batman versus Superman. There's never going to be like an actual conclusion. It's just going to be like, all right, I'm going to fight you. Oh, we're fighting. Wait, something's happening now. Let's team up.
Without spoiling so much, I will say they don't do that for the most part.
Oh, so does Godzilla or King Kong just kill the other?
They don't kill the other, but like there's a definitive like win.
So yeah, I was gonna watch that movie, but I didn't find that story very believable. So,
is it because they didn't explain King Kong's origin story?
No, it was because they didn't give enough context for the people.
Oh, right. The most important part of any kaiju film.
Right, the most important part of anything with Godzilla or King Kong is the people, obviously. I don't know how they keep screwing that up. They have been making Godzilla and King Kong movies for literally a century. And they still haven't figured out that nobody cares about the people.
They gotta have something relatable going on, I guess.
Or, maybe try to humanize the monster, or try to, like, make the struggle compared to something. Like, literally the original Godzilla did. Literally. Oh, well.
So how have you been, Brendan?
What have you been doing?
Nothing. Anyway, we do streams.
Nothing. Let's just go into the topics.
Anyway. No. I've done like a bunch of stuff. I've played a bunch of games. There's a brand new Stellaris update that came out about a week ago, or a week and a half ago, from when you're listening to this. I've enjoyed that. It's the Nemesis update. They've added like espionage and a bunch of stuff like that. Really fun game, Stellaris. I really like it. The only thing is that it kind of wears thin after a little bit. It's like, okay, I've kind of done and seen everything by a certain point. It's kind of the thing with a lot of Paradox games.
I was about to say, isn't that like a Paradox game? But yeah, it's pretty much the curse of Paradox games.
Right. But granted, by the time you've gotten there, you've already are at least 50 to 100 hours in. So that's quite a chunk of gameplay to get out of it. Mm-hmm. So I've enjoyed that. I've also been, because I've been such a big fan of Doom Eternal. Like, literally, Doom Eternal is one of my favorite games ever. I'm playing the DLC. I wanted to go back and play Doom 3. Now, the interesting thing about Doom 3, I hadn't played Doom 3, like, in a solid session since I was probably, I want to say 7 or 6 years old. And the game had just come out for Xbox, the original Xbox. And I was at a friend's house, and they had a copy. And I was scared out of my mind of that game. I was like, oh my god, this is so horrifying. Ah. Now, obviously, I'm still just as scared, but I'm just 20-something years older. I'm just kidding. No. Playing Doom 3 now is like... I was talking to Will about this the other day. The Doom 3 is almost like slightly immature. Not nearly as bad as Will's topic, which we'll get there. But like, just like there's slight things to it that like make it feel like it's from its era. But there are just specific things about it that I just wish had been carried over to future Doom games. And in fact, when I went back from playing Doom 3 back to playing Doom Eternal, I was like, where is that sound effect? Oh yeah, that's right, they cut that out. They didn't do that again. One of my favorite things about Doom 3 is the sound design. Doom 3 sound design, for the most part, I mean, I think the guns are kind of weak, is really, really stellar. So when demons are summoned in any other Doom game, they just kind of appear and they show up and they do roar, haha, demon. But in Doom 3, there's whispers throughout the level, and at certain points when you're in enemy corridors, the whispers will rise as if someone is watching you, and they will summon demons to attack you. And I loved that idea. Like, such a cool idea for a Doom game. Not only that, but there's like the environments themselves, the radio, where you can frequently hear your comrades in arms falling to the demons. Like, it's just endlessly just like dripping with like atmosphere that the rest of the franchise just doesn't have, because the rest of the franchise is kind of like arcadey shooter, like collect as many or kill as many demons as you can and like, get as many secrets and whatever.
So it like really tried their damnedest with this horror setting.
The best thing I can describe it to, and I was thinking about this the whole time, Doom 3 is basically like early Dead Space. Like, it's so similar to Dead Space. Like, it's really, really interesting. But the thing for its time, and I think is really crazy, is it just apes, and this is the thing that I think makes Doom 3 kind of lackluster as a shooter, it just apes off of everything that shooters had done to that point. Oh, we gotta do the bit where we introduce you to everybody because that's what Half-Life did. Oh, we gotta do the bit where you can pretend to pick certain things, like System Shock, even though System Shock definitely has discernible choices, whereas in Doom 3, it's basically like, oh, you can find a secret PDA or not, and that may have an effect on the campaign in a small way. I haven't finished Doom 3 yet, and I've been very, very like torn on whether or not I want to finish it. I have been playing a Doom 3 BFG edition, which many in the Doom community do not like that game. So for reasons that I watched a couple of videos of people explaining it, and it kind of makes sense to me, but that's the version I have, and I'm not going to spend an extra $7 to play a slightly different version of the same game. Sorry. That position.
Wow. Wow.
I do like Doom 3 for what it is. It's very interesting. I don't know if I'm going to finish it or not yet. It's cool to go back and play it after like seeing glimpses of it, like as a kid, and then like now I can actually just play it. We were talking about Beautiful Joe earlier. That was another one where I saw the cover for it and I remember it being advertised, but I never actually went and played it. I never actually got it.
I don't remember it being advertised at all.
I did. I remember seeing it on the shelf. I remember the GameCube copy of it. I never asked for it. I was always freaked out by how big the guy's head was.
Now, I didn't even know Beautiful Joe was a character at all until like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when he was a playable character. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
I was in a very similar boat. I didn't even hear about it until Marvel vs. Capcom. I was like, I don't know who this character is, and I only learned who he like really was, like in high school, I think.
That's not all I've been doing though. I played. Again, like 2020 was awesome for games. Like, otherwise, really bad year for humanity. But games are pretty good. Hades is another one of my like favorite games ever. It came out last year. No, technically it came out of early access last year, and I went into early access in 2018. but I actually didn't play it until it was fully done in 2020. And man, I love that game. I think the combat is so good. I think the story is really intriguing. What they do with Greek gods, I think, is really cool. Is that as far as you could go, I think, with it. But it's definitely something. It's definitely like their own take, and I think that's really, really good. Like, just the game is just polished to like a mirror shine. Like, I actually have not run into a bug yet. Like, straight up.
Oh wow.
Doom 3, I ran into a bug like an hour or so in. For like, that's like the most recent thing. Bioshock 2, something else I've been playing recently, literally crashed on me. Stellaris crashed on me. Hades, not one stutter, not one crash, not one glitch, not one broken level, not like, just immaculately made game. Like, just, you can like it or not, but like, what they were aiming for, they absolutely have nailed. And it's incredible.
Yeah, Hades is probably the best game that I don't own. I've seen, especially like one of the things that I will say for certain though is they have a stunning soundtrack.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is awesome.
I think the game just looks great,
and also just a very good like, visual style.
Although some of the things I think are like, that's a little cliched, but like that is it.
The only thing that I could even say, because I've obviously seen some clips and seen my roommate play it, that I could say is like I don't really care. I don't know why every so many characters will speak in like a whisper as if they're not wanting to like wake the neighbors.
That is not the case at all, from what I've played.
I that's what I've noticed. Zangrius will not really raise his voice. Another character I know, actually, 2 characters. Now that I'm thinking about it, and I don't know why they talk so like silently.
I just played it a second ago, like literally like a couple hours ago. That was not even like on the radar. Maybe that was the sound design, or not the sound design, but the sound levels that person or whoever had it at. But that has not been the case at all for me. And I do audio editing. I'm a stickler for that stuff. I actually stopped playing Skyrim for that very same reason, where it sounded like everybody was like whispering, and, like I couldn't hear it over the music and the sound or in the background stuff. That has literally not been my experience the entire time I've played it. And I've been playing it since September of last year. Well,
then that's your experience then.
Right. I don't know where that would have come from. That's weird.
Because it's what I've noticed from so many from all the people I've seen. I don't think it's just one person.
Like I'm really trying to think hard. Like, no, like I haven't had. The only time that I could say that I might have had that experience is at the start of fights, and the reason why that is because he'll say something and it'll lead into the music cue. Yeah, that's the only time.
Yeah, no.
Like nobody sounds like they're whispering. Like they always sound like they're fully voiced. Like they're talking the way they should be. I'm really trying hard here. Like I'm not saying you're dumb or anything. Like I'm really trying. Like I haven't had that experience.
I'm saying that you're dumb.
It's not even like just they don't. It's like it's just it feels like they're talking like kind of like quietly, like instead of like talking like this. Some people will talk like this, as if you really just don't want to. Yeah, that's just been my.
There's one character that talks like that, and that's on purpose because she's a very dark character, and she kind of like murmurs to herself, and that's it. Everybody else is like fully like literally one of them, like a couple characters like shout at you because they are so like bombastic as characters.
Well, Scully,
so
sure.
Like
Scully, sure, but
like
and maybe like
Hades himself, Zeus. Ares kind of talks normally at you. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to disagree with you, Jim.
I've also been playing Bioshock 2 off and on. I honestly do not like Bioshock 2. Like I'm in the first couple hours of it, and immediately I'm like, this is really hitting the same beats as Bioshock 1. Kind of like verbatim, and that's kind of frustrating. The story is like mildly interesting, but again, it just seems like we're just hitting the same beats over and over again, and I wouldn't mind it so much if it didn't run terribly. Like I'll run into certain areas and the frame rate will dip and crash, and it's happened twice now. the sound design is so all over the place. Like, the UI just feels like it was made in Flash. Like, there's like this weird like layer above everything, where like you can totally tell like, oh, that the bar is a image, and the image loads in partially when you take damage, and it does like. That was very bizarre. Like, it seems like a very, very like fragile game, and I'm playing the remastered version. I know, Mike. You haven't played BioShock yet.
Yeah,
it feels.
I know. Like, here's the thing that I've learned. I actually have learned that I, for some reason, will like completely avoid a game, but I will somehow find out like the big spoiler of games. It happened with like God of War, like the PS4 one. The big old spoiler that I'm not going to say for the sake of, people who haven't heard it. But I don't know. I just have a natural thing of like avoiding any and all spoilers, but finding out the biggest spoiler of the game.
I used to do. I'm kind of mad at myself that I did this. I used to think as a kid that I would never play certain games because it would just never happen. I was like, oh man, I'm never gonna play BioShock 1. Might as well watch the ending. Oh man, I'm never gonna play Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Might as well watch the ending. So I got spoiled the ending for like a couple really big games.
Never really gonna play KOTOR. Going to watch the ending for that.
I might never play KOTOR. I don't like KOTOR. Anyway, that's a story for another time.
but do you hate it more than BioShock 2?
No, I like BioShock 2 more. Because at least I'll play that. At least I can play it. Anyway. I've also set up my PlayStation 2 again. A funny story about that. The original TV I had in my room didn't have the cables to support it, but there was another TV in the house that did, and they were the same size. So I was like, okay, I'll just switch them. So I did that. Now I can play some of my PS2 games again. I'm going to play through the Sly Cooper trilogy, because I have all 3 of those games. And I'm going to go back into the original 3 Metal Gear games. Not the original, I guess not the original. But the PlayStation version.
The Metal Gear Solid.
1.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3.
And as mentioned earlier, I'm going to be playing a lot of Realm Total or Remastered, whether it's good or bad. And I'll be streaming a bit of that.
But dude, you really got to get the MSX versions of Metal Gear, man. That's where the true classics are.
The more and more that I get older, the more and more I stop caring what fans think. Anyway, fans kind of get really in the weeds about that, and if I really want to appreciate that, I'll do that. But I find that fans are kind of wrong a lot of times. It's sad that it comes from a bad place. Like, they love the thing, and that's nice. It's nice to have someone really appreciate your work. But a lot of times, they don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, we all do streams here. TM. Asterisk.
Pure comedy.
I stream on Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Asterisk. Usually I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I can. And on those days I'll be playing either Realm Total War Remastered, as said previously, and Disco Elysium, sponsored by Drinks and Fun. So I'll be playing more of that this week. Hopefully, I really enjoyed what I played of Disco Elysium. I just haven't had time. That is the only reason why I haven't done that yet. But I will get to more of that this week.
Funniest thing about it is, I was the one who basically wanted and gave him this, you need to play this game, it's amazing. But even I have not finished it. I got, halfway through, I think, or something like that, and I just, for some reason, just stopped. I think I got overwhelmed with work, and I haven't gone back to it since. But I am planning on going back to it pretty soon myself.
Awesome. Also, I do streams with Will, who does his own streaming. Right now, we're doing Portal 2. We just finished Dark Souls 3, which was a roller coaster of a series, but we did it.
Certainly a ride.
And you guys finished Cuphead, right?
Yeah, we finished that in one stream.
Yeah, we did. It was crazy.
It's surprising.
No, the problem with Cuphead is that we apparently co-op. Apparently, Cuphead does not have online co-op, which was
just
crazy.
It's
kind of crazy that they didn't have that.
They do. It's called roleplay.
Well, that would work if we didn't have to stream at the same time, and I stream over Wi-Fi, so not a great combo.
And having a full second delay on your button pushes does not help.
Right, and in a platformer that requires like pinpoint accuracy from you. Yeah, no, thank you. Well, I'm good on that one. I might play it off stream, but until I can get like a wired internet connection, I just don't think that doing stuff through remote play is feasible for streaming.
But we got other stuff playing for streaming, like I said, we got Portal 2 going.
Will and I have planned out basically the whole year, so we know what we're doing.
Wow, you guys have planned.
We will get to certain things.
Literally playing 3D chess.
For the most recent things. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Literally playing 3D chess with your with how far you guys have planned your streams.
Oh yeah, we're probably like, if things go the way that we would like them to go, we have everything planned out until probably March of next year, with how long some of these games are. I don't know. It might be surprisingly fast how quickly we get through.
We'll get through them pretty quickly. Like, remember how fast we got through Dark Souls 3?
Oh yeah. Dark Souls 3 was so fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
It totally didn't take us a month and a half.
Totally not.
Totally not. Anyway, Will and I are streaming Portal 2. After that, we'll be streaming the original Dark Souls. Asterisk. It's the Dark Souls remastered.
Yeah. But it's basically the same
again,
game.
fans not really a big fan of that one. So we'll be streaming that. Will also streams at, still hasn't changed his name yet, LinkFan1291. Is that right?
For now, yes. I hope to change it eventually. Hopefully.
Why haven't you gone with his Lost Gamer yet?
I don't know.
That's your YouTube brand.
I don't know. Maybe if I ever wanted to rebrand the Lost Gamer name. I don't know.
No. Yeah, he streams Devil May Cry and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm working on S-ranking all of Dante Must Die mode in Devil May Cry 3. Only 3 missions in so far. God help me.
Why don't you just stream everything you play?
I mean, why do you think I tried streaming Legacy of Kain that one time? Although now that now that I've been doing co-op streams with you for most of the week, like, just I don't know.
No, I could definitely understand that. Like, even though that, as there's always going to be, like, I feel like there's going to be those games that you really like a lot, but you don't quite want to, like, to do with, like, streaming. Like, either it's like you just want to, like, chill and relax with the game, or I don't know.
Or like that, and the fact that sometimes what I play isn't all that interesting. Like, I was playing Devil May Cry 3 earlier, but I wasn't playing any of the missions. I was just practicing my jump canceling.
The real answer is a combination of the 3 things that we were all thinking about, which is that not every game is interesting for the audience. Having to constantly be a performer and talk to everybody in your chat, even when nobody is there, is a pain in the ass. That is only made better when you're actually talking to a friend, because you can pretend like nobody's there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Occasionally you want to play a game by yourself because you want to enjoy the experience without internet strangers telling you what to do. So there's that. At some point here, this is like, I think this has been announced. Michael's going to be doing some streaming at Drinks and Fun, so I'm very excited about it. He's got a really interesting idea for what he's going to do with his streams. Michael, do you want to tell us about that?
I feel as though I've told this before, but I'll probably be doing, like, some video game stuff. Just kind of like the other two. Probably going to be a little bit less frequent because I'm still a college boy. But I do want to try to start doing some more. I don't want to call it mixology. Mixology just does not sound good to me. It doesn't sound good to me. A lot of people take a. I've learned, like, how much just the word mixology is, like, it's almost like an insult to these 2 very talented, like, bartenders. I have to give them all the credit. It's not like a pretentious thing. Because, like, why do we need to be have, like, an ologist name? Just call us what we are. We're fine with bartender. But I'm going to be doing some bartending streams where I'm just going to be mainly making some drinks and shooting the shit with chat, just talking, having fun, seeing how everyone's doing. Maybe make a couple of drinks for the podcast. But when we do that,
stream before the podcast. I don't know. That's a lot, actually. It's a lot of performing. It takes a lot out of you.
Well, Well, I was going to say that, but then I remember we're actually planning on switching the date, right?
I'm planning on switching the date, and yeah, we have some plans for episode 10. I'll say that.
Yeah, we usually stream these on Friday, but we are going to be switching it up pretty soon. Just not really super important, but kind of give you a little bit of the behind the scenes.
For the sake of consistency, we're gonna change the date.
But yeah, do you also expect Brendan and I? We haven't been doing it. We did one stream, but we've kind of stopped. But I do want to try and get back into it. Our Far Cry 5 streams.
Mm-hmm.
It's Thursday. If I remember correctly, still Thursdays, right?
It was Thursday. We'll
Might have to change. Yeah, we'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all the plan for me. I'm not. I don't know exactly this exact date I'm going to start streaming, but I have more of the thing of, especially since it is finals weeks for me. So, fucking yay! But I think we should talk about what we've been meaning to talk about.
Graceful. So anyway, Will, this is actually an intervention. The podcast the entire time was a sham. We're going to talk about your game purchasing history. We've decided that your purchases of Kingdom Hearts was made in error. And Michael and I just wanted to talk to you about your liking of Kingdom Hearts.
You'll never take my stream drop distance away from me.
There's a little part of you that wants to be dead. Or is it because your life feels empty without some ritual? Or is it because the rebellion against guilt hasn't ended yet? You don't sell cigarettes.
That's some dedication. That's some months of dedication. Okay, yeah, we're going to plan out this whole show just so we can have an intervention a couple months from now.
Well, you really gotta play into the role, Can't let too much slip out.
Anyway, each week on the Media Cocktail Podcast, we talk about 1 to 2 topics each episode. Often recommended by one of the 3 hosts. We cycle through each episode and we talk about basically whatever the people recommended. The first topic was the first piece of media that we had to analyze is "Don't Smoke" and "Get Off the Internet," 2 songs by one of my favorite bands like ever, and probably one of my favorite music artists, the Microphone / Mautire.
Listen to me. Get off the internet. We are the ones who are alive right
And
now,
the second
so
thing we're going to talk about today is the movie Uncut Gems, which we'll get to in just a second after "Don't Smoke" and "Get Off the Internet." Gentlemen, what do you think of "Don't Smoke" and "Get Off the Internet"? See, this guy's got a really wide repertoire of music, and I wasn't sure what was the best, intro to it that wasn't also oh yeah, this is 3 hours of your time. So I was like, oh, you know what, these 2 songs I kind of like, for various reasons that I'll get into last. But anyway, what do you guys think of those?
Let's start with Will.
Michael, you go first. Oh,
Me.
Will. Oh yeah, we should go with Will first.
I say we go with Mike first. I've been going first for a while.
Yeah, you go first for a reason, Will.
It's so that we could actually bully you.
Yeah, just straight up.
I mean, what can I really say about music? It sounded okay. It's not something I'm gonna necessarily pull up on my Spotify every time I want to bang out to something.
How'd you like the harmony?
It was fine, I guess.
How'd you?
I don't know. The song didn't really do a whole lot for me. I guess it was just kind of yeah, it's all right.
I think that probably the biggest thing is that I think I'll be getting into is how'd you like the lyrics and the message of the song?
Right.
Okay. Well,
I'm curious what you guys think the message is, because it's kind of a joke song. They're both kind of jokes. Anyway.
Well, yeah. With "Don't Smoke," obviously reading it, it's it's very it's trying to really sell you the whole anti-smoke here. Is it because of the part of you that wants to be dead? No, it can come across very much as oh, while you're smoking, bro, you want to be cool, huh? You want to feel like a real man when you smoke. You feel it, but do you really feel like a man if you die, huh? It kind of can kind of come across as like one of those Dare commercials. Although I guess there is a bit of that irony in there, like the whole adults sell cigarettes. You are young and rich for now. For now, you have the ritual waking up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the whole irony behind it, where it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a layer of irony in both of these songs. I know. Michael, you want to pick it up from there?
Okay. So.
Oh boy.
You know me, especially with. Yeah. Okay. So. I do, at least see. The thing is, like, I don't want to, like. It is also, like, admittedly hard for me to, but I will still try and give, like, what I can.
Okay.
Because it is, we should, as Brenna said, we should try and, like, expand our critique taste instead of, like, just doing video games, movies, and, the occasional, like, we should try and, like, do music. But I feel so it's, like, kind of hard to talk about. Because, especially with some of these songs, which, for this, I guess I'll start with Don't Smoke.
Sure.
It's one of the things where it's like I think it's the worst out of the two.
Okay.
Especially with like the beat, with like the tempo and the beat was like very like disorientating.
Mm-hmm.
At least to me, it was like. I will say it's definitely not like a traditional like beat where you'll get like a pop song, and I think that the reason why I like Get Off the Internet more is because it actually kind of felt to me like a Tool song with like it had a beat. It was still a strange one, but it still was to me a nice beat. For me, Don't Smoke felt like they're like at some points they would like go all out, and some of them would be like, especially like at the beginning and the end, they would barely play anything except the drummer. The drummer was really like into it. But
yeah. It's all him, by the way.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, he does everything. Sometimes he'll have a friend or two come play something, but he does that very rarely. Like it's very. I don't know. We'll get into it when we do. We're going to do one more thing with this artist. Who knows? But we'll get into it then. This guy's process. But again, I wanted to introduce you guys to this guy in like a very small way. Like what are the smallest songs that we can get in here with? But anyway, yeah.
But yeah, so there is like there's a layer of irony in this where it's like, where it's rebellion and acting like a fuck up, why not embrace simple health? Where where it's like kind of like it feels so much like the critique where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like for people who are like rebelling, that was such a fucking stupid idea. And kind of like saying like plainly like taking responsibility, living in the world on your own. And the thing of like the adults sell cigarettes for and you're young and rich for now, where it's like yeah, you're literally being played dumbass. And get off the internet was like. I did when I like went into like the comments of like the video that Brennan linked. I saw like the funniest thing, which was like someone linked it was like they actually did like a virtual concert.
Yeah.
And that's like, and I thought that was just like it was amusing, but I don't know. To me, I think it's like the lyrics really just did not do it for me. Because. It did, like Will said, it felt like a Dare commercial for, like, the first one. And this one is just saying, like, just being on the internet's not going to give you, like, isn't really doing much for your life. You should just go out and do, and, like, actually live life without,
incredibly ironic given current times.
Incredibly ironic. But I think... for me, at least, I don't mind a song with like a message. One of my favorite songs of all time is actually Bruce Springsteen's "Ghost of Tom Joad." I do not mind a message in my song at all, but
Yeah.
to me, this just felt so like ham-fisted. I don't really go to music for literally a lecture. That's kind of like what I got from a lot of this. It felt like two songs lecturing me. And I just do not, and that's not what I really come into music for. So, I could see the irony and stuff like that, and I can like see the message, but it doesn't really do it for me. I especially since like I kind of like Get Off the Internet's like beat and like harmony, the actual like music to it, like, but it just something about when they, it's not even like how literal, because I'm also a fan of Sabaton. Sabaton is literally just like, hey, we just want to talk about an era history and give credit where credit is due, which is fine. But when it's like, it's the thing that slightly got me about like pure comedy, but I will say that pure comedy did it like a lot more subtly. I guess if they were like to do a song like this, I really would appreciate a little nuance instead of being like, hey, why the fuck are you smoking? There's a life that you could be living outside the internet. Why aren't you doing that? And I just did not like really appreciate I just really did not appreciate having like a lecture on my. It felt like my grandfather or my grandmother being like, you should stop doing this. Like, it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I just did not care for it, and that's a lot of what I have to say. It's the harmony was like okay, and Get Off the Internet. Didn't like it for Dope Smoke, but the message and like the lyrics, not my cup of tea at all.
The thing I will ask you both is, was this at least interesting? Was this like, okay, yeah, this is something that I would not listen to, but like, even though it's not my thing, I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I kind of get it. It's like, was this intriguing at some level?
Well,
I mean, I don't know. It just kind of seemed like they're just bringing up a topic like everyone talks about. So, I mean, I guess it kind of sounded nice, but again, it didn't really sound like something I'm gonna be listening to over and over again. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, sounded kind of grungy, but
I'm not talking about like the sound. I'm just saying like, the overall thing. The overall project.
I mean, not really. Once again, I just don't really care about someone lecturing me and how like live my life so bluntly. It's funny because it's like I can like if a song like tells me like a story or like gives like a nuance of something like that, I'm like way more susceptible. But when someone tells me, hey, you should do this, I get like super rebellious, or I'm like, no, fuck you.
Okay. I guess I should say my bad. About the music. This is not my favorite two songs out of his repertoire, but it's like some of the most like intriguing because they sound so different. Like you literally go from like hardcore like guitars and stuff to kind of a somber, like long voice, like echoey, and Get Off the Internet from Don't Smoke to Get Off the Internet. And that's something this guy does, is he's very intriguing with his sound. He kind of moves all over the place, and like one album will be kind of a solo like single with like a guitar, and then the next album's like death metal. Like you just never know what you're gonna get from this guy. And that's like why he's like one of my favorite artists ever. But we'll get to that. I like the songs both because like they're kind of a joke. Like both songs are. That's why I think it's very interesting, Mike, that you get like lecture out of it. Because one, Get Off the Internet was literally uploaded to the internet, and it's on Bandcamp. And this guy rolls around in irony and jokes and don't take life too seriously. Like he just kind of like, it's really like outwardly he puts forth this like attitude of at peace with the world, and he likes to sell this idea of that human beings are connected to nature, and I mean it's like mildly like hippie kind of stuff, but
Goddamn tree hugger hippie.
yeah, but like it's like this really interesting connection from like the technological world that we live in to like where we came from as like just like basically like animals, and recognizing like the kind of gifts that we've been given through that. So with that context, when you listen to these two songs, you kind of get what he's getting at. Don't Smoke is funny because he used to smoke. I think he's even a supporter of legalizing weed and things like that. Like he's always been like a very progressive person, so that's why that's kind of funny. But it's mostly about stop smoking cigarettes. And Get Off the Internet, again, is like it's a jab at people that were over analyzing his music online in the middle half of his career. He's kind of in the later half now, which is another like it's just like another like interesting fan thing, I guess. But there's always again like it's just like layers of irony to it. It doesn't excuse everything. I do think that like Get Off the Internet kind of feels a little bit like telling you what to do, but knowing who he is as an artist, I can kind of get where he came from, why he would like make something like that. I don't know. Really, the choice of these two songs is just like it's a little sampler, just a little something. Be familiar with who this person is. Not the best tracks ever. We'll get there. Maybe with my next pick, who knows? But yeah, interesting artist, which I would like to talk about more at some point. Anyway. We also watched the movie Uncut Gems, which none of us had seen before. Something I want to do more often on this show is to get us to all experience something new or have been exposed to something that we had not been exposed to before, for at least 2 out of 3 of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, this movie, Uncut Gems, is a film directed by... I can't remember the brothers' names. I'm going to pull that up. I just typed Uncut, not Gems. Oops. Don't go to... anyway.
Uncut Gems, Uncut Edition.
Oh my god, I can't imagine. Oh my god. It was directed by Benny and Josh Sefti?
Sefti?
I think it's Sefti. I'm pretty sure it's Sefti. Anyway, they also made a movie called Good Time, which is a great movie. I really, really like that one, which is what made me want to recommend Uncut Gems in the first place. And Uncut Gems stars the man, the myth, the meme. I forgot his name. Holy crap, I can't remember. Adam Sandler. I was thinking right now, but I could not remember his name.
I actually couldn't. I actually wasn't sure if you were doing that as a joke or.
No, I literally forgot for like a second. Anyway.
Who is he? Adam Sandler?
I don't know. What were your thoughts on Uncut Gems?
Okay, so I like to say that it was a very hard film to watch, and not in a bad way sense. Like it was bad. It was hard because the freaking main character is a dumbass. I really liked the film. It was really well made, and it was a really intense film. But again, a lot of that intensity comes from just how stupid our main character is. He keeps making, at every opportunity, I'm like, please, just do the right thing and actually end this whole thing, or you're just gonna fucking lose it all, okay? And Adam Sandler was really freaking good in this movie. Like, I don't know if...
I mean, I agree.
If you guys want to
I think
say
he's very good.
it.
When he tries, he can be a really good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, half the time I kind of forgot I was watching Adam Sandler, and I guess I kept just buying into the fact that he's just some...
Yeah. Oh, there's so many times in this movie where you're like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Yeah.
Why are you just so stupid? And I gotta find it. I really do find it funny though that like even though it's a crime
That's
drama,
the underlining theme.
it's really a movie about basketball.
It's Airbuds 3 without the Airbuds.
And a whole lot more fucks.
Damn.
A lot of fucks. And also, a lot of bad decisions.
Just awful
Love that
decision making.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those movies that's like, it's excellently made and like, a lot of the tension works out really well. But it's not one of those kind of movies I can go back to watch over and over again because I was just gonna be screaming at the TV, just asking why.
Michael?
All right, so I will say, I would say I am a little bit of a sucker for a good old tragedy.
Mm.
I used to hate them when I was younger, but I love tragedies now. And I don't know what it is, but I feel as though, like, even though I've never, like, read the short story, I feel as though it had a bit of inspiration from Death of a Salesman.
Really?
I get that feeling. Once again, that is just a completely wild, bullet in the air guess. But I know it has, like, it almost feels like that, but also like a different perspective, where it's like the Death of a Salesman is like about a salesman who's kind of like just wondering about his life, wondering if what he's doing is like really worth it. We have someone here who is always trying to like, and that's the thing about the main character here. He is always trying to like, he is what I would like consider like a true gambler. He's always trying to find the quickest fix, that would like is going to make him rich and like make all of his problems go away. He doesn't do the things that he should do with it. He's always trying to like find a kink in the system and somehow like exploit it to become like ultra rich.
It almost like he enjoys that. I don't know. We'll get there with my take. But anyway.
Yeah, I do agree. It's like almost like a bit of the thrill of it, even if it like causes him severe harm, like getting kidnapped or Lily the guy or Lily has a gun to his head.
Mm.
Gets locked into his own trunk.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant by like getting kidnapped. His fucking family actually like hating his guts.
Yeah.
But
I seems like almost everyone hates his guts.
all except his side girl.
Yeah.
Though he did almost lose her.
He did
On
almost
purpose.
lose her. And it's a lot of like the thing of like trying to, instead of like always trying to find always trying like live the life of a high roller, always trying to find that way of just making it big.
Yeah.
Not really thinking much about the consequences. Think about them later. Just do what is good. Just doing what is good now. And the reason why I really think that's like the overall message is because there is a certain character that reappears constantly in the movie that I think is kind of to show like the kind of the same thing, and how he's kind of like a repeat of what is the main character's name?
I can't remember. To be fair to us, it's been like 2.5 weeks or something since we watched this movie.
Yeah, Howard.
Howard.
His name is Howard. Was kind of like Howard's entire thing. And I think that what it did, it was super it was like super interesting, and I have to agree with Will, it's not an easy movie. You just see this guy and you're like, man, I just want, because he is a good anti-hero. One of our friends said, he's not a hero, he's just a guy. It doesn't really have to be like Venom or Deadpool in order to be like a anti-hero. It's just a person. It is just a character. It's just an archetype. There's a character who shows heroic qualities that we usually see in media, but also have a severe character flaw, or that makes him a somewhat untraditional hero. and he definitely had that. He had like a lot of like stuff, that you're like, yeah, I do really, because he really for the people he cares about. The ones that actually try and do him right, like his girlfriend. It shows like he actually like genuinely really loves them, and tries to do their best for them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do good for him, then he's going to treat you like. Then he's going to be literally the biggest dickhead in the world.
Yeah. It's weird how he's like kind of a family man, like a little.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering how that came to be. Like,
yeah, you kind of want to see the development of that. You're like, why is there that weird cross between those two things?
Maybe started having gambling problems after he got married.
Right, like you're like, well, how did this start? Where did this begin from? Because they very much drop you like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much when he gets the gem, like the gem that is mainly for the name Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like a very, very, very good movie.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say as well, it really had everything was like so thrown together. I think it did like a really job of like making the entire tone feel super like anxious. Like like, I swear to God, we might have, like, changed scenes and, like, not a word, we've not gone, like, a single, like, 2 seconds without somebody, like, talking really fast for, like, most of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, every moment has some kind of tension behind it.
It really had, like, just, not only just, like, tension, but just a feeling of, like, anxiety, like, something's always happening, something is always doing something, and you just don't know what the result is going to be in general. It always felt like he was like completely caught in the crossfires and trying to think of the best way to like taking it over.
What's funny is we had to pause a couple times while we were watching. We were all watching this over Discord, by the way, and as a group. And the funny thing is, we had to pause for various reasons, like somebody had to go to the bathroom or somebody was grabbing food or whatever. But like each time we paused, we were like, "Oh my god, thank God!" We were like kind of happy that like someone had like put a pause on us. They're like, "Okay, so I can collect my thoughts here," and I like think about what I just watched for the last 20 or so minutes.
Well, that's pretty much all I got to say. So, Brent, if you want to take the reins, go right ahead.
I thought the cinematography of the film really added to the mise en scène of the frame, and I really understand why Adam Sandler is such a perplexing character no, I'm just kidding. I really do like Adam Sandler's character here. I think it's really an interesting, I don't know, I would say duality, but there's more phases to that. But like there's so many things that he does and says to like either manipulate or to try to get an advantage over something. And it's incredibly. It's just a fascinating like story to like watch play out, and that's gonna end in a car crash. Like you're like, there is no way that he gets out of this and like is able to like figure everything out.
I was expecting his death going in.
They tease it though. They tease you with the idea. Doesn't quite work out. But yeah, it's just an incredibly thrilling movie, and the same with Good Time. I actually found it very similar to Good Time in a couple ways. In terms of like pacing and editing and stuff like that. The opening like scene of it is just awesome. Like the way that they introduce you to the gem, and then like the way that they transition from the gem to Adam Sandler's character is intriguing. I guess.
Even that final shot of the movie was intriguing to say the least.
Yeah. Just an incredibly well crafted movie. I don't know. It's hard to say too much about it outside of just
what about the music?
I really enjoyed the music. I didn't enjoy it as much as a friend of ours did, but I did really like it. I did appreciate it for what it was.
I actually saw a review on Rotten Tomatoes, and apparently
that's a first mistake.
Yeah, but no, I saw a review where someone apparently, or to them, the music ruined the movie so much that they couldn't finish it and declared it bad.
That was an excuse. They just wanted it out. They were too stressed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I honestly think, like, again, like the most intriguing thing about the film is Adam Sandler's character, which is of course like that's what the movie's about. And he almost gets like it almost seems like he gets an enjoyment out of it, out of just like constantly being like trying to get an edge out of somebody, trying to get the most out of a situation, and in so much you're like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you putting yourself in this situation? But at the same time, it's like if somebody who had a watchful eye over your life, how many of your decisions do you make or have you made where somebody could go, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why would you say it that way? You know? I think...
Yeah, there's always... It kind of like is like, you know, who are you to like judge his actions? I'm pretty sure you didn't... you would do something perhaps equally as dumb in this situation. It almost is like, you know, reflecting, it says like, you think that you're so good, so much better than this guy, huh?
I wouldn't say that. I was about to say that it's actually like the easy take. My take is more like it's interesting to be it's easier to be reflective, right? It's easier to be like, oh, as you're seeing this in motion, oh, you can totally see where things go wrong. But for people that are into something, for whatever reason, it's not always so easy to stop the ball rolling down the hill. And some people just find it like enjoyable to push themselves into these situations, like almost like they get an enjoyment out of what's the character? Is it Sisyphus that rolls the ball up the hill as a punishment? I think the myth is like they get like an enjoyment out of it at a certain point. It's almost that same thing of like this character like really like is trying, like the goal is like, oh, I'm gonna become rich about this and oh, I'm gonna be able to do all these things, but like when you see the places where he lives and you see like how he conducts his business, the guy is already pretty well off and can pretty much do whatever he wants. But that's not enough. There's always the next scheme. There's always the next thing. I gotta do this thing, and then everything will be good. But every time he sets that up, it just gets worse and worse and worse until ultimately, spoilers, it kills him. And what's funny is that it doesn't even kill him because of him getting himself in trouble. It kills him because someone else was so frustrated with the experience that they just killed him. And then killed the guy who he owed the money to, which I thought was really interesting. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, like they were gonna get the money, like regardless, but then.
Well, that's kind of like why I thought of it as like kind of like that character is kind of like almost in a way an extension of his character. It's like another because immediately they were like, okay, we're gonna grab all the stuff here, and it kind of like seemed to me it's like, oh, he too is also like. He sees the thing there, but he just doesn't care. He's just going to go for the very like closest thing that will get him the that he sees will get him like the maximum benefit. They would have been perfectly fine if he just waited. If they just wait for him to get the money and be square, but it wasn't just enough for him.
Yeah, he had to make it so like that they would be like totally rich, and then they are. They succeed, which by the way is based off a real basketball game. I thought that was funny. Which makes sense for like why you would write it that way. I guess the easiest thing. Why don't we just base it off a real game that happened?
So can I just say, Kevin Garnett, for a basketball player who's like acting for the first time, did a really good fucking job.
I know you can hardly tell. Like usually, like they stand out, right? Like you're like, oh yeah, I know this guy's a basketball player. Like this is not his traditional thing. LeBron. Anyway, there are like certain like even like Jordan did that, and you can just kind of tell like they're just phoning it in. But
there was also this other guy, Michael Rodney was it?
Yeah,
Rodman.
Yeah, him. But yeah, the basketball players usually don't make for great actors.
Yeah.
Which is why I was really surprised when I found out that was a real basketball player.
Oh, you didn't know the whole movie, or did you?
I didn't even know that until now.
Yeah, that entire time I didn't know like that was really Kevin Garnett playing.
Oh, I knew. I actually recognize all the sports people.
Yeah, you got to remember you're dealing with two humble gamers. We don't keep up with sports.
I know.
We're nerds.
I even called out when they had a cameo from the New York radio guy. That was really funny. I remember that like trending for a while when the movie came out. That like he swore in the movie and he's never sworn in his career. So like everybody was like, "Hi, he's swearing," and I'm like, "Really?" We're acting like children here. Of course he swears. Everybody swears. Get over it. Top
fun
10
fact,
radio hosts that's sworn. Anyway.
Number 1, John Madden.
John Madden.
Well, fun fact, this movie is the fourth highest, or is the movie with the fourth highest count of fucks in any given movie.
I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
They drop a lot of like fuck f-bombs.
Yeah.
And just language in general in this movie.
I was just surprised that it landed on number 4. I thought it was gonna be like top 3.
Yeah. Anyway.
What
is everybody's I guess we'll wrap it up here. Final thoughts and scores for Uncut Gems.
Like easily a 9 out of 10, closer to a 10 than an 8. Like it was a really freaking good movie. I just don't know when I would ever rewatch it.
Yeah, there's a couple of those. I know exactly what you mean by that. Michael?
I would have to agree. Definitely, I would say a very good 9 out of 10. Sucker for these type of movies, but this one was a good one of those movies, thankfully.
Yeah.
I'd say, a very solid 9. I wouldn't say it's like 9.5 or 9.6, but I would say it's a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. Sorry. No, I'm giving this.
So it's only an 8 out of 10, huh?
Oh, you.
I know. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. It's closer to a 9 than a 7. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. Check it out if you haven't. Do it. Uncut Gems. It's a movie with Adam Sandler in it.
And Adam Sandler's a good actor, guys.
When he tries. When he wants to be. That's what's sad about Adam Sandler. Like, usually he just tries to do, like, Hollywood Ponzi schemes to, like, try to get, like, free vacations and, like, fake paychecks and shit like that. But when he actually tries... he's a good actor. There's a reason why he was famous. Anyway.
He's actually funny in Happy Gilmore.
Anyway.
Alright, fine then.
Anyway. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Media Cocktail Podcast, episode 7. We finally did it. We did it. We finally got this episode recorded. It took us a while. But we did it. I mean, hopefully there's no problems in editing and we can actually put it out. That'd be great.
But we are not quite done yet.
Oh, no.
We still have one important thing of the show.
Because there is one more thing that we do in each episode of the podcast, which is that we plug the shit out of everything that we're doing. Right now, I am streaming on twitch.tv/notaheadlesssamurai. Check those out. You can find Michael at Drinks and Fun.
Drinks and Fun.
Is that right? Okay, I wasn't sure if... I knew it was Drinks and Fun, but I wasn't sure if that was the URL. But...
Yes, drinks and with like the word and, not the symbol.
Not
and.
the dumb like and thing.
You can even do.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think that you can do like symbols for Twitch names anyway.
I have no idea. Anyway, I also you can find Will at twitch.tv/link fan 1291. I get so jumbled up every time. Anyway, you watch all those streams.
I'll have a new name sometime soon.
Wait, we still have another thing. We still have the next piece of media.
I was just about to say that. Graceful.
We'll get to it faster.
Anyway, each episode of the Media Cocktail Podcast, the host recommends what the next piece of media will be at the end of the episode. So, Will, it is now Will's choice. Will, what will be our piece of media for episode 8?
I have picked a really fun choice. For next podcast, we will be talking about Postal 2. So, hopefully you get, if you ever want to, like, not be spoiled by all that stuff by the time we get there, then play it for yourselves. I fucking dare you.
Alright, so Postal 2, play Postal 2, I guess. I don't know.
We'll just hear, like, try me, motherfucker, try me!
That's what the comments will say, I bet. Anyway, be safe, get a vaccine, wear your mask, don't make dumb choices. Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Bye. I have started recording.
Started recording. Oh, God. Don't tell me you actually recorded that. That'd be great.
Oh, I did. I absolutely did.
Sorry, future Brendan. Sorry.
Hey, it's just like, you can clip it out.
No, I'm just gonna put it in at the end now.